Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Engineering Academy and ACE Online. We are the team of ACE Engineering Academy and he is Mr. Vamshi Krishna and he is going to handle artificial intelligence subject. He is Mr. Uday Bhaskar sir, he is going to handle machine learning subjects, and Dr. C.H. Srinivas sir, and he is going to handle with data structures and algorithm. And when it comes to myself is Ramesh Masuna. I am going to handle databases and data warehouses. Mr. Nelluri Srinivas Chaudhary sir, he is going to tackle about numerical ability. And Mr. Aditya sir, he's expert in engineering mathematics. He's going to handle engineering mathematics subjects. So we will continue with one by one all questions, and whatever the questions we have collected and from the students, those memory-based questions we are going to discuss in this session. Okay, and as per the discussion from the students and expert faculty members, we understood that this time paper is moderate to tough. And especially engineering mathematics, Aditya sir told it is a bit difficult. But when it comes to my subject, databases and warehouse, so it is very easy questions. And it compared to other subjects, the faculty told it is moderate to tough questions. Fine. So next we'll start the session with one subject by one subject. So please stay tuned. Thank you. Hello students, myself Ramesh Masuna. I am going to discuss about the weightage analysis. Here from the feedback of many students, we understood that these are the 1 mark and 2 marks questions come from these subjects. From engineering mathematics, 9 1 mark questions and 9 2 marks questions, and DBMS 5 1 mark and 5 2 marks, totally 10 questions. And machine learning, 4 1 marks and 5 2 marks questions. Artificial intelligence, 4 1 mark and 4 2 marks questions. Algorithm and data structures, 3 1 mark and 6 2 marks questions. Python programming, 1 mark 1 question and 2 marks 2 questions. As usual, aptitude 5 plus 5 questions. And here the total MCQs are 14, multiple choice questions are 14, and MSQs this time is more, that is 33 questions. So more than 50% of paper is covered by MSQs, and numerical answer type questions 18 questions. Only 14 MCQs are asked. Okay, whoever is confident enough with MSQs, this time they can easily get good rank. Okay, this is what we analyzed. And I'm going to start with databases and data warehouse. Here totally there are 10 questions. Among the 10 questions, we collected 6 questions from the students, and those 6 questions I am going to discuss. Here the question given is let R of A, B, C, D, E. 5 attributes are given, be a relational schema with functional dependency A to B, C, CD to E, and E to A. Which one is correct? The question is about candidate keys. Okay, when it is to find candidate keys, like how I can find these are the dependent attributes. If I eliminate dependents, and this is a dependent, is a dependent, A is a dependent, independent is D, and D is an independent attribute. When we find the closure of D, only D you are getting. When you add A, so AD closure contains AD, with A we have B, C, with CD we have E. All attributes are there, then we can call AD is a candidate key. Because A is in the right hand side of some dependency, E to A, so A replaced with E, ED is also candidate key. And here also you see, E is the right hand side of some dependency CD to E. Now E replaced with CD, CDD will get CD is a key. And C is in the right hand side of A to BC. Now C can be replaced with A, so you are going to get AD. So means it is repeating. How many candidate keys are there? 3 candidate keys for the relation AD, CD, ED. Option A given, AD and CD are only candidate keys because it is given only wrong, because 3 candidate keys are there. AD, ED, CD are only candidate keys, correct. A and CD are only candidate keys, but A is not a candidate key, wrong. A is not a candidate key, wrong. So what is the correct answer? B. That is AD, CD and ED are the candidate keys of a relation. And here is a question. It is one of the good question which is asked on correlated subquery. What it is given? Select account number from account as A, where select count star from account A as B, where A balance less than B balance. See, A is in the outer query and outer reference is used in the inner query. So for each row of outer query, inner query is going to be evaluated. And same thing, we have one more, select count star from account as C, where A balance greater than B balance. So A balance greater than C balance. Again, outer reference is used in the inner query. So means there are 2 subqueries for the one outer query, and each subquery is going to be executed once for each row of the outer query. The question is number of rows returned. So because we have a 3 instances, assuming this is an instance A, this is an instance B, and this is an instance C, that is account number and balance. Account number and balance. See, account number A1 5000, A2 5000, A3, okay, I'll write 5000 completely just for easy understanding. A 5000, B A2 5000, A3 10,000, and A4 15,000, and A5 18,000. And here A1 5000, A2 5000, A3 10,000, A4 15,000, and A5 18,000. Okay, right. Here one outer query and 2 inner queries, and each of this inner query is going to be evaluated for each row of A. So one inner query is this one, and that second inner query is this one. Now second inner query is using a table C, and first inner query is using table B, and outer query is using table A. Now for each row of this one, what conditions has to be verified for this second table, B table? So A balance less than B balance, first one. 5000 less than 5000, this way it is to be verified. 5000 is to be verified for each of this row. 5000 less than 5000, wrong. 5000 wrong. 5000 less than 10,000, 15,000, 18,000, right. So means what is the output of first inner query? First inner query is selecting count. The first inner query is satisfying the condition. Sorry, first inner query giving the count 3, that is greater than or equal. Second inner query, look at. Select count star from account as C. Okay, select count star from account C. So for each row of A, again third table, C table is to be verified. For what condition? A balance greater than C balance. So means this way it is to be verified. If it is to be verified this way, all the rows. Fine. Now condition is A balance greater than C balance. 5,000 greater than 5,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 18,000 all are wrong. So that what is the count it is going to return? 0. 3 greater than or equal to 0 is true for the first row of outer query that is going to be selected. And the same thing, because the balances are to be verified, this is also satisfying because that is also satisfying the condition 3 greater than or equal to 0. And when it comes to the third row, look at, when it comes to the third row, this 10,000's first inner query, A balance less than B balance, 10,000 less than 15,000s and 18,000s. So that first inner query giving the count 2, second inner query A balance greater than C balance, 10,000 is greater than 5,000 and 5,000. This 2 greater than or equal to, this is correct. So third row is also going to be selected. When it comes to the fourth row, look at fourth row, 15,000 A balance less than B balance, 15,000 less than only 18,000. So count is going to be 1 for the first inner query. Second inner query, A balance greater than C balance, 15,000 greater than 5, 5, 10. So means 1 greater than or equal to 3. This condition is failed for the third row. And for the last row, 18,000 should be less than B balance. So 18,000 less than any of these values? No, it is count is going to return 0. Condition is greater than or equal. Second inner query, A balance greater than C balance. 18,000 greater than 5, 5, 10, 15 is correct. 18 is wrong. So count is going to be 4. 0 greater than or equal to 4 is wrong. So that this row is not going to be selected. So which rows are going to be selected? 1, 2 and 3. These 3 rows are going to be selected. So number of rows in the output of this query is 3. Fine. I hope you understood this. And this question is from the warehouse. Question is, which of the following options denote the total number of possible data cuboids? Total number of data cuboids from the concept hierarchies. Here it is given 3 concept hierarchies. 1, year, month, day. So group of days forming month, group of months forming year. So hierarchy is consisting of 3 all together, means how many levels we can say? 1, 2, 3 all together 1. So means there are 4 levels. Same thing, city, state, country. These are the 3 given, all together 1 more, we can call 4 levels. And item, item type, category, there are 3 levels are given, all together 1 more, there are 4 levels. Means at each one we have a 4 levels. So the total cuboids are 4 into 4 into 4, that is 4 into 4, 16, 16 into 4, 64 is the answer for the question. There are total 64 cuboids are possible, right? And this question, see, consider 2 relations R and S defined on the relation schemas R, A, B, S, E, C. It is mentioned A is a primary key of R and E is foreign key of S. E is a foreign key of S referencing A in R. Which of the following never violates? Question is about not violating. So which is not going to violate is a question. So RAB, A is a primary key, means we can call it as a parent table, and SEC, it is called child table. Now question is about not violating. This is one of the question which was there directly in the previous CS paper, and also it is there in the ISRO paper. There in that question it is asked about violate. Now here the question asked is never violates. Same question, never violates. Inserting records into R. R is a parent table. Inserting will never cause any violations, because you can expect a value in the primary key which may not be there in the foreign key. Means parent can be there but need not to have any children. Inserting record into S. S is a child table. You can't insert a tuple in the child without having a proper parent in the parent table. So this is going to cause us a violation. Deleting records in R. So R is a parent table. So you can't delete a record from the parent table when children are there. So means this is possible to cause a violation, right? Deleting record in S. S is a child table. So you can delete a tuple from the child happily. There is no violation of foreign key constraint. The question is never violates. So first and 4 are not causing violation. Means inserting records into parent table will not cause any violations. Deleting records from child table will not cause any violations. So answers are 1 and 4. Okay. Suppose if it could have been given as A, B, C, D, then I can say A and D are the correct options. Now, this is one more question from the data warehouse. When you see 2024 paper and 2025 papers, from data warehouse only one question given. This time undoubtedly, as usual, expected questions only. That one question I have told you, that is one on concept hierarchy, another questions on data OLAP cube operations. See, what is the question? Visualization of three-dimensional data cube showing sales quantity, product type. It is about sales quantity, product type, month and country, right? We want to further visualize for each combination of product type, month and state. So what they wanted to do, so for each combination of product type and month and state, it wants to be further visualization. Means if it wants to visualize the data not from the month, again you have to visualize data in terms of like days, quarters in a month. Then if it is days or quarter in a month, if it is state, if it is to visualize in the form of state, region, country, so means you can go more detailed data. Going into more detailed data is called, it is a drill down operation. Here we don't have proper options, like according to the data given, if options are there, and then I can tell it perfectly, but okay. But whatever the data is given, the answer could be drill down operation, because it is to visualize the data further more detail, right, according to each combination. Then it is called a drill down operation. So answer for this question is drill down, right? And these are the 6 questions that I have collected. Apart from these 6 questions, we don't have a proper data, but there are 4 more questions. Just I want to tell you what are the 4 more questions. The 4 more questions are one on ER models. There are given 2 entity sets, means what data I have collected, I am telling you. There are 2 entity sets, one E1 and another is E2. Between them we have a relationship R, and the cardinality is many. And E1 has some attributes A11, A12, A13, 3 attributes, and E2 has E21. This is one of the question of GATE 2014 only, A24, but when it comes to the GATE 2014 question, it is given one-to-many cardinality. This time it is given many-to-many cardinality. If it is many-to-many cardinality, each entity separate table, each relation separate table, totally 3. But one of the entity is having multi-valued attributes that should be shown as 2 separate tables. So means this is to be represented as 2 tables. So totally how many? E1 one table, R1 table, E2 can be represented with 2 more tables. So total number of tables are 4 tables. So proper data is not there, like what I discussed with the students. So they gave this kind of information. So answer could be 4 tables. And one more question on joins. There are given some tables, X table, Y table, Z table. They have asked about join between X and Y and join between Y and Z, and asked about total number of tuples. And one more question on tuple relational calculus. They said one TRC query is given and asked to find number of rows. And one question is on B plus tree insertion. If data is there, I could have told you the perfect answer, but data is not there. And there are totally 10 questions from DBMS, assuming 5 1-mark questions, 5 2-mark questions, all together 15 marks from DBMS. So this time very good weightage given. When first time it is 8, next time it is 12, now this time it is 15 marks. Totally 15 marks from the DBMS. As usual, what I said, important, expected, and whatever we have discussed in the classroom and during the live classes, offline classes, online classes, and same questions what we have discussed and same appeared from in the GATE 2026 paper. So if you agree with me, just give a like to me, right? Thank you. Ready? Yeah. Hello, students. Welcome back again. So just now I collected one more question from the B plus tree, order. So I told many number of times it is one of the important topic number. Again a question came. In a relational database B plus tree, node size is nothing but a block size. Now the node size is 4096 bytes and it is given node pointer. Node pointer we also call block pointer, and this block pointer size given is 10 bytes, and the search key field it is given 11 bytes, and data record pointer, the record pointer is 12 bytes. And the maximum number of node pointers that can be present in a non-leaf node of tree. Non-leaf is nothing but internal node. Okay, it is asking about internal node. And what is asking? Number of pointers. The maximum number of pointers is called the order. It is asking about order of internal node. Just recollect the structure. What B plus tree internal node contains n tree pointers, means n block pointers. Each block pointer is 10 bytes and n minus 1 keys, and each key will have 11 bytes and less than or equal the block size. What is the block size? 4096. Just solve the equation and find the value of n. Now it is 10n plus 11n minus 11 less than or equal to 4096. That is 21n, right? 21n, 10 plus 11. 21n minus 11 less than or equal to 4096. Now 21n less than or equal to minus 11, it goes to this side, plus 11. Plus 11 means 4107, correct? 4107. Now what you have to do, just find the value of n, which is less than or equal to 4107 by 21, right? By 21. Just let me calculate. 4107 divided with 21, which is 195.5, because we have to take less than or equal to 195.5. We can say n is less than or equal to 195, right? And here record pointer we should not use, because question is about B plus tree internal node. Internal node should not have a record pointer. So only record pointers are available in the leaf node. So answer for this question is 195. And this is one more question I have collected. If any questions that are going to that we are going to collect it, again I will come and I will explain you. Okay. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So I'm here to discuss questions based on algorithm subject, data structures and Python subject. Okay. So what are the questions they asked in today paper means? So there is one question from Quicksort algorithm. And the second question based on binary search algorithm. Whereas third question based on bubble sort and insertion sort algorithm. bubble sort and insertion sort algorithm. That is the third question. Whereas fourth question based on pre-order traversal, in-order traversal, and then post-order traversals. Post-order traversals. Okay. So these are the 4 questions which are 2 marks questions I remembered. Okay. Apart from these 4 questions, and there are 3 Python questions also they asked. Okay. So total we have approximately 15 marks question and 50 marks weightage is there this time. So all questions are little bit easy questions only. So let me discuss one by one, friends, so that you will get more clarity. Look at this problem. This is the data they provided. Let us consider Quicksort. Let us consider Quicksort, which is implemented by using just look at here. Let us consider a Quicksort which is implemented by selecting first element as a pivot element. Means in this process they are selecting first element as a pivot element, and the recurrence equation for average case they are asking. Clear, friends? Okay. The recurrence equation for average case. So the moment when you select first element as a pivot element, okay, the recurrence equation generally, so we cannot consider n by 4 t of 3 n by 4 plus order of n. Actually, it is the case if we select n by 4th smallest element as a pivot element. Okay, this is the case if n by 4th smallest element is a pivot element, friends. Okay, so it is a case if the pivot element is placed in the middlemost position. Okay, whereas it is nothing but here the summation is missing. Average case is nothing but we already discussed the definition of average case. Okay, you have to take k value where k is starting from 1 to n, means first element and second element like the summation k runs from 1 to n t of k plus t of n minus k plus order of n, where this order of n is the partition time. Okay, they also mentioned that point in the question itself. Partition time will take order of n time, friends. Okay, so this is known as average case time compressed in the Quicksort algorithm, friends. Okay, that is the correct answer. Next question. Yes, this question based on bubble sort and insertion sort. Students who are having complete idea about bubble sort and insertion sort, they can answer this question. See, let n1 and n2 denote the number of comparisons performed by bubble sort and then insertion sort. Clear, friends? Okay, where n1 indicates number of comparison performed by bubble sort. Just recap, in the class notes we provided that number of comparisons by using bubble sort always bounded by n into n minus 1 by 2. I hope you remembered, right? N into n minus 1 by 2. Okay, it is at most. So next, insertion sort algorithm. Insertion sort algorithm depends on number of inversions, friends. Okay, number of inversions. So first, if you apply bubble sort algorithm for this one, if you substitute n is equal to 5, obviously 5 into 5 minus 1, so that is equals to 5 into 5 minus 1 by 2, which equals to 20 by 2, that equals to 10. So with respect to bubble sort algorithm, it takes 10 comparisons. Okay. What about insertion sort algorithm? If you take insertion sort algorithm, see this total array is not sorted, friends. Okay. If the total array is sorted, we can say n minus 1 comparisons. But if you observe here, there is one element 5 which is not in a sorted part of the array, right? So therefore, if you apply insertion sort algorithm, the working process is looking like this. When you take first array initially like 1, let us consider 1, 2, 3 and then 5, 4. So as per the standard insertion sort algorithm, we are assuming that first element already sorted. Okay, by assuming it is first index, let it be second index, it is third index, fourth index, it is the fifth index. So these are the index of the elements. Clear, friends? Okay, in the standard insertion sort algorithm, we are starting from j equal to second index. So when you take j equal to second index, its meaning is up to first index already sorted, we want to place second index element in the proper place. Therefore, I want to place second element in the proper position. Right, friends? So that second element we are taking something like key is equals to second index element, that equals to 2. Right? Afterwards, you are take previous index value by taking I always taking j minus 1 in the insertion sort algorithm. So j minus 1 means 2 minus 1, that equals to 1. Now we need to take the comparison. So in the insertion sort algorithm, we are taking comparison like if a of I value greater than key element, then you have to shift a of I to the a of I plus 1 location. Means it is performing comparison 1 greater than 2, condition false. 1 greater than 2 condition false means the first comparison we are performing 1 greater than 2, condition false. Then it will come out of the while loop of the insertion sort algorithm. Please recall the insertion sort. Afterwards, we are going for second pass. This is a first pass over. First pass 1 comparison. Okay. Next, when you go for second pass, so second pass is nothing but j is equal to 3. J is equal to the third index. If it is j is equal to the third index, what about key element we have to consider? Key is equal to third index element, that equal to 3. Right friends. Now I always taking j minus 1 according to insertion sort algorithm. So 3 minus 1 that equals 2. Now take second index element, compare with key element. What is second index element? 2. What is key element? 3. Therefore it is comparing is 2 is greater than 3. Again condition false. Again condition false. So therefore it will come out the while loop of the insertion sort friends. Okay. Next you are taking j equal to is over, j equal to 3 over, next j equal to 4. Next pass we are taking j equal to 4. Yes, when j equal to 4, you have to assume that up to third index already sorted, fourth index you have to place in the correct place. Whenever j equal to 4, up to third index already sorted, fourth index you have to place in the correct place. That is the objective of insertion sort friends. Okay. Therefore, your key element is equal to fourth index. What is the fourth index here friends? 5. Fourth index is equal to 5. Now check the condition. If it is fourth index is equal to 5, what about I is equal to j minus 1 that equals to 3. Now compare a of 5 with key element. So third index element 3 is going to compare the fourth index element friends. Okay. So obviously 3 greater than 5, condition false. Condition false. Then we enter into next pass, j is equal to 5. When j equal to 5, you have to assume that up to fourth index already sorted. We want to place fifth index in the proper position. Therefore key is equals to, we have to consider key is equals to 4 now. This is the element we have to place. Okay. So previous index element is nothing but I is equals to j minus 1 that equal 5 minus 1 that equal 4. Now take fourth index element, compare against key element. What is the fourth index element? 5. Now check the condition, 5 greater than 4. Yes, 5 greater than 4. The moment 5 is greater than 4, you have to move 5 to the next location. You have to move 5 to the next location. Afterwards decrement I by 1, I becomes 3. Now take third index element, compare the key element. What is the third index element? 3. What is the key element? 4. Now check the condition, 3 greater than 4. Condition false. If it is condition false, it will come out of the loop. Therefore total how many comparison we performed here, just count how many comparison we are taking. First comparison, it is second comparison, right friends, third comparison, it is a fourth comparison, it is a fifth comparison. Total we are having 5 comparisons are there friends. Okay. In these 5 comparisons, the moment you move, you are moving 5 to the fourth location, means element 5 is shifted to fifth index, then automatically this element will be copied into fourth index, right friends. It means one swapping performed in the insertion sort here at the end. So therefore look at the options. First option they provided n1 is equal to 10. Yes, it is true because in bubble sort algorithm n into n minus 1 by 2 formula we can apply n is equal to 5, that is true. But n2 is equal to 4, which is not correct because we have 5 comparisons here. And n1 greater than n2, it is a multiple select question friends. Okay, MSQ question. This question pattern is MSQ question. Yes, we already provided here. So n1 greater than 2, n1 greater than n2, which is correct because n1 is 10, n2 is 5. Both bubble sort and insertion sort perform at least one unnecessary comparison on sorted elements. Of course friends, see, most of the portion of this array already sorted, right? Already sorted. So even though it is sorted, just we are performing comparison between these two and comparison between these two sorted elements. That is at least one unnecessary comparison because they mention here at least one unnecessary comparison. See here friends, there is one word, at least one unnecessary comparison. Yes, we are performing. So therefore this is also correct. Next one, insertion sort perform exactly one swap. Yes, as I mentioned, swapping is nothing but two elements must exchange data in two different locations, right friends. Okay. Therefore 5 is moving to the fifth index and 4 is moving to the fourth index at the end. Therefore one swap performed in the insertion sort. Therefore, so second one, third one, fourth one is correct. It is MSQ question friends. Okay. Next question they ask based on binary search algorithm. Just look at the data. Suppose an array contains 1000 elements which are in a sorted order. So this type of model we discussed so many times. Whenever they mention sorted order, we have to apply binary search algorithm. Okay. So maximum number of comparisons required to verify that a particular element y does not exist in the given array. So particular element y does not exist in the given array. So using which type of search? Binary search. So in the binary search, so if you look at the recurrence equation, the time required for searching a key out of an element is T of n. After performing comparison with the middlemost element, which is constant time, then either you have to move towards right subarray or towards left subarray based on the element position. So therefore remaining half of the array contains only n by 2 elements. The time required to search n by 2 element is T of n by 2. If you solve this recurrence equation, at the end you will get our answer is 1 plus log n base 2. 1 plus log n base 2. This is approximation value. If you want exact value, you can take floor of log n base 2, friends. Okay, exact value. So therefore, we mentioned the class in the time composite theta of log n base 2. So substitute n is equals to, what is the value you have to substitute n is equal to 1000. Just substitute n is equal to 1000. By substituting n equal to 1000, 1 plus log base 2 of 1000, right, friends? Okay, this 1000 we can write it as, I am writing continuation part here, which equals to floor of 1 plus log base 2 of 1000. We can write it as 2 to the power of 9 point something, friends. Okay, 9 point something, because 2 to the power of 10 means 1024, which is exceeding 1000. So I can rewrite it as 1 plus 9 point something into log 2 base 2. Log 2 base 2 is 1. So 1 plus 9 point something, which is equals to floor of 10 point something. When you apply floor value, result equals to 10. So therefore, answer to this question is 10, friends. Okay, I hope you have done this problem, because straightforward question from the classroom. Okay. Yes, this question we already discussed in YouTube channel. Also we provided this question. Okay, ACE Academy YouTube channel. If you go through the YouTube channel, just type data structures in the recursion concept. Direct question is there, friends. Okay, so they provided one recursive function, mystery of n minus 1 plus mystery of n minus 2. They are asking, if you give input is 4, how many number of times function calls are generated? So what you have to do, you can construct one recurrence equation in this format. Suppose let T of n is equals to number of function calls. Let T of n equal to number of function calls for mystery of n. Mystery of n, right, friends? Okay. Then how many function call for mystery of n minus 1 means we can say T of n minus 1 function calls. And how many function call for mystery of n minus 2? T of n minus 2 function calls. Because they are talking about function calls. But with this input n, we enter into function body one time, right, friends? Okay. Therefore, with this input n, we enter into function body one time. That's why I'm counting it as one function call, right, friends? Then this part will take T of n minus 1, this part will take T of n minus 2. So T of n minus 1 plus T of n minus 2, friends. Okay. Now they are asking, if the input value n is equal to 4, how many function calls are there? Straightforward, you can substitute n is equal to 4 here. Okay. So if you substitute n is equal to 4, which equal 1 plus T of 4 minus 1, that equal to 3, 4 minus 2, that equal to 2. But we don't know what is T of 3, right? First I want to compute T of 3. Therefore, if I compute T of 3, substitute n is equal to 3 here. 1 plus T of 3 minus 1, that is 2. T of 3 minus 2, that equal to 1. Still we don't know what is T of 2. You can compute here T of 2, which equal 1 plus T of 2 minus 1 and 2 minus 2, that equal to 0, friends. Okay. In the program they provided, whenever n less than or equal to 0, return 0. Means this loop is executing up to reach the base condition 0, friends. Okay. Therefore, if you want to find n T of 1, 1 plus T of 0 plus T of 2 minus 1 minus 2, that equal to minus 1. So the moment if you give input is 0, it is calling only one time. That's why it is called one call. Okay, it is called one call. Even if you give input is minus 1 less than or equal to 0, therefore it is calling only one time. Therefore 1 plus 1 plus 1, imagine this T of 1 equal to 3, friends. The substitute here T of 1 value we got 3 and T of 0, which is equals to 1 function call. Therefore 1 plus 3 plus 1, that equals to 5. And T of t is equal to 5 function calls. T of 1 is equal to already evaluated, that is 3, which is equals to 9, right, friends? 9. And T of 3 is equal to 9. What about T of 2? T of 2 is equal to 5. So 9 plus 1, 10, 10 plus 1, that equal to 15 function calls are there, friends. Okay, 15 function calls. In the classroom we discuss one formula that is in the form of 2 to the power of n minus 1. Here n is equal to 4, 2 to the power of 4 minus 1, that equal to 15 function calls are there. Straightforward formula also there. If you want, you can apply that formula, friends. Okay, that is straightforward formula. So answer is 15. Yes, this is actually bubble sort algorithm they ask. Okay, they are asking exact number of times this count is repeating. Actually there is a correction is required. It is 53412, friends. Okay, it is not 53142. It is, I remember it is 53412 like that. Okay, so please check it once, because this array I am doubtful, but I got correct answer for this question is 8 is a correct answer, friends. Okay, because in first pass we have 4 swappings are 4 comparisons are required, and the second one 2 comparison, again third one 2 comparison, total 8 will get answer, friends. Okay, please make sure that your array is 53412 format. Okay, I hope you answer this question. This question straight for bubble sort question only, friends. Okay, bubble sort question. And apart from that, there is one question based on pre-order post order and in order traversal. Let me quickly explain what is the answer for that question so that you will get clear idea. In the paper they provided pre-order traversal, and also they provided in order traversal. Okay, they provide pre-order traversal, in order traversal, and options they mention like first option. In the first option they provide about post order traversal, and second option they mention that the node Q has so only one subtree. This type of option they provided, node Q is having only one subtree. Okay, and then root node of binary tree, is something like they provided here. Okay, and one more option is also there, friends. Okay, I remember this question but I didn't remember the options. So for this problem, whenever they provide pre-order and in order, we can easily construct post-order traversal. In the post-order traversal, whatever options they provided here, that is correct option only, because I personally experienced this question. Okay, that's why I'm saying post-order whatever traversal they provided, that is the correct answer. You please check yourself. Okay, and node Q has only one subtree. No, node Q is having two subtrees. Okay, and then one more is root node of binary tree is. So in the pre-order traversal, whatever element here they provided, that is a root node of binary tree, friends. Okay, that is root node of binary tree. Therefore, for this question, I am sure that answer is A and C. Even this is also not correct answer. The option I didn't remember properly. Okay, so different types of questions asked in data structures. I hope you did very well because most of the questions are related to our class notes. Next, my colleague Mr. Vamshi sir is going to teach handle AI subject, friends. Okay, thank you.
Hi students, very good evening. Let us discuss the questions from artificial intelligence in today's paper. My dear students, in last year, let's say in 2025, so we have some 4 questions of 2 marks and some 3 questions of 1 mark, and we have the total weightage of some 11 marks from the subject artificial intelligence, right? And this year from the students what we received is the weightage of AI is increased a little bit, and we received 4 questions from 2 marks and 4 questions from 1 mark, and together we can say we got 12 marks from this subject. And as you know that this is information based on student memory. So the actual accurate information we can get further, and accordingly we can update the thing. If you see, my dear students, in our 3 units of artificial intelligence, when we have 8 questions, what we noticed is we got 3 questions from the first unit. From the first unit, you can say from the search unit and search unit, and we got 3 questions from the second unit, that is logic part, and we have 2 questions from the third unit, that is, we can say, reasoning under uncertainty, right? So let us discuss these questions one by one. And if you see the part of search, and luckily whatever the concepts we highlighted in our classroom sessions or in our revision class, as it is the same questions, we got in the paper. And we can say from the student information, we can say that if we refer the class notes, you have no need to prepare any other thing because most of the questions are directly came from the class notes. Let us see one question from the first unit. So the question format is just like this. Which of the following is not uninformed search, they asked. Which of the following is not uninformed search? And the options comes to BFS, DFS, DLS, and A star search, right? And this is the direct question, right? In informed searches, we have heuristic search techniques, and by using the further information about the goal, we are going to evaluate it. But in case of BFS and DFS and DLS, these are uninformed searches, we can say, and the user don't have any type of awareness towards the goal. That means we can say the predefined information is not at all available. So these BFS and DFS and DLS, these things comes under uninformed searches. When we are taking A star search, so it's simply based on the evaluation cost, f of n for every node, right? So f of n comes to both the values of g of n and h of n. It comes under heuristic search. It cannot be uninformed searches. Am I right? And let us see the second question. We have some question about first order logic. The question format is like this. Which of the following is not a valid first order logic statement? That is the actual question. And the options comes with quantifiers. Sum x p of x implies for every x p of x. This is one option available. And option B is for every x, if p of x is true, which implies for some x, not p of x is going to be true. And third statement is for every x, if p of x, which can logically implies for some x, p of x. For D, some x, if p of x is true, then we can say for every x, p of x can be true. Some students are saying that in option A, we have something like logically equivalent symbol. It appears like both sides implication. So it's memory based question. Either it is implication or either it is by implication, whatever you can take, my explanation will be same. So you can take something like this. When a predicate is going to be true for some x in the universe of discourse, you cannot make it for every x of p of x, right? In the class notes, we have discussed some examples like p of x, x is happy, where universe of discourse for x is the set of all students, you can say. So that means when some students are happy, then you cannot make it for every student. So you can say option A cannot be the valid one, it cannot be the true. And if every student is happy, which means that some students are also happy. Yeah, if every student is happy, some students can be happy, but don't say that there exists at least one student who is not happy. The statement B is also false. And yeah, it can be certain, no doubt about it. If every student in the class is happy, then definitely there exists at least one student who is happy. The third statement, option C, is perfectly correct, perfectly correct. And if a fact is true for some students, let's say I want to say some of my students are very intelligent, some of my students are all India toppers, I cannot make it for all, right? My dear, option D, I am confirming this, option D cannot be true. Only C is correct answer to this question, right? This is one question we got from quantifiers and predicate logic. And we also have some questions, something like on Minimax algorithm, and we have a max layer here with root node, and the max layer consists 3 min nodes, and these min nodes having some leaf nodes with utility values comes to 8, 6, -1 here, and here it comes to 1, 5, 7, and this is -3, -7, -12. So as max layer always points to the maximum profit along the path, and min player is going to be get the minimum of loss along the path, throughout the path, we can say. From the utility function values, you can get the minimum value here. It comes to -1, and it comes to min is 1 here, and it comes to minimum is -12, let me say. And coming to the maximum values, and max value comes to 1. I think this is the question we got as NAT type. Answer is only 1. I think within 2 minutes I finished the explanation. That much big story is not required for this question. And coming to the next part, which of the following statements are not true? And they given some predicate formulas, and the first formula in the options is not true, let me say, not true. The first statement is all humans are mortal. All humans are mortal. All humans are mortal, and which can be represented like this, For every x is human, for every x is human of x, which implies is mortal of x, right? And coming to the second statement, for every x, for every y, classmate of x comma y, yeah, they given some predicates here, classmate of x comma y, which implies classmate of y comma x it is. Classmate of y comma x it is. And C, the statement C is each king is a person. Each king is a person. Each king is a person, and which is equivalent to the predicate formula for all x is a king of x. Yeah, is a king of x, and also is person of x. is a person of X. This is the third statement we have. And coming to the fourth option, fourth statement D is, for all X likes of X comma ice cream, which implies that negation of, there exists some X, a negation of likes of X comma ice cream. Students, these are the four statements are available. From all these predicate formulas, what we have noticed is the given assertive statement is logically equivalent to the predicate formula or not. So in the first statement, all humans are mortal. All humans are mortal in the sense, I hope you are visualizing there is a set like humans and it is a proper subset of mortal. Every human is going to be mortal. If the object is human, then definitely it is mortal. That means the first statement is appropriate one. It's true, you can say. And for every X, the classmate of X comma Y, X comma Y, if X is a classmate of Y, then definitely Y is a classmate of X. It follows just like a symmetric property. Yeah, parenthesis can be here also, no issue. For all X, Y, it should be here. That point is not at all required. I just decided the scope of the quantifier with a parenthesis here. Even the statement is like this also, you can say it can be logically implies. And coming to the third statement, just now as I explained here, every human is a mortal. In the same reference, you can understand each king is a person. If the object is a king, then definitely it is a person. But the logically equivalent statement is, here we have something like and here, the more very powerful logical connectivities, and recommends that this area has to be true. I hope you are listening to my words careful. I am not saying that if X is a king. So this logical connective and forces that it has to be true, no other alternative. So X is a king. Every object in the universe is a king. Yeah, but that is not at all the logical implication of this assertive statement. You can say option C cannot be true here. And this is okay. Negation of X here, when the predicate formula consists negation here, it can be interpreted to the throughout formula. So some students can complicate the thing. They distribute this negation first. After that, they distribute this negation next. They elaborate the meaning. That much big story is not required. Let me explain in a simple way. When there is a negation outside, let us distribute this. Negation of some X becomes a for all X. Negation of negation by using double negation law or by using involutory law, negation of negation P is P. It comes to for all X likes of X comma ice cream here. So what you can notice? You can notice the both statements are identical. There is no difference between them. So you can say D is also true, my dear. Coming to the answer, which of the following is not true means, in this question our answer is C. C is the correct answer, I can say. I hope my explanation is clear to you. And let's move on to the next question. And if you see the question is just like this. They given one statement from the logic part. The logic part is, whenever X is true, Y is also must be true. Y is also must be true. This is the given statement and options comes to x and negation y, and we have x implies y, and if x then y, if x then y, and option D is if y then x, if y then x, you can say. Actually, this is the question from logical implication, right? So, in implication, in our classroom, we discussed that the variety of terminology to express P implies Q. So, we tabulated all the possibilities for P implies Q. P implies Q can be expressed as if P then Q. P implies Q can be expressed as Q whenever P. And P implies Q can be expressed as Q unless negation P. And it is provided that P can be true, Q can be true if and only if P is true. So we tabulated all the things, but if you compare that, the statement what we have something like this: P implies Q, that P implies Q can be expressed as Q whenever P, Q whenever P. Write it, my dear, Q whenever P. But here the question statement is different. The word whenever comes here, whenever comes here. So whenever in the sense, so the time frame is not required. Whenever you need a help, you can ask me. If you need a help, you can ask me. When you are going to need a help, today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow or after 1 month, the time frame is not fixed there. There we are going to use the word whenever. Even if you don't have English knowledge also, no issue at all. But the requirement is you just identify the tabulated from whatever I have given in the class notes. So whenever x is true, that means if x is true here, then y is going to be true. So x implies y. If you want to express this, how you have to express this? You have to express y whenever x. And here the statement is, it appears like whenever x, then y is going to be true. Little bit tricky statement it is. It is not y implies x, it's going to be x implies y, right? X entails y in the sense x implies y. Yes, x implies y can also be expressed in a simple form like if x then y. This one is also correct. We can say this question is just like MSQ. Option B is perfectly correct. Option C is perfectly correct. And some students are saying that option A is also correct. I did not get how it can be correct. Let me give justification to that. X implies y here. X implies y is negation x or y by using conditional law. And let me apply De Morgan's property. Negation of negation x and negation of x, I can say. Negation of x and negation y. I am saying that x implies y cannot be equals to option A because option A is the negation of x implies y. But some students are thinking like this can be correct answer. How it can be correct? At this moment I can say I think this is not correct, but let us see the actual question and complete we can say the accuracy of the data. All these discussion made by students' memory, my dear. So this is the discussion about our artificial intelligence. So I hope you received some solutions in proper way. So at this moment, these are the solutions provided me, and after getting the final paper, I can update the solution, and if any corrections are required, I can make accordingly. And thank you. Next, I can hand over the session to Aditya sir. He is going to deal the questions of engineering mathematics. Fine.
So, hi students, I hope you would have done well. This time we got less number of questions from engineering mathematics. So, I think close to 30 to 35 marks were asked, nearly 10 1 mark and 10 2 marks, or close to that, nearly 30 to 35 marks. The previous year we got more than 40 marks, but this time it is between 30 and 35. We have received a few memory based questions. I'll be discussing them one by one, and in the process you can also send some questions. When I spoke to the students, they said engineering mathematics was on the tougher side, the remaining subjects were easy. But since the weightage is 30 to 35 marks from engineering mathematics and it's little tough, so scoring marks, scoring more marks in mathematics is now difficult in this paper. There is a question like this. It says summation I from 0 to infinity, summation j from 1 to infinity. It is 2 power minus I, 3 power minus j. What's the value of this? Can't I separate the summation? What do you say? Let's separate the summation. What's the problem in that? Summation I from 0 to infinity is 2 power minus I, summation j from 1 to infinity, it's 3 power j. Maybe if you expand this, you might get a series in geometric progression. This also, you get a series in geometric progression. So the first term would be 1, and then 1 by 2, 1 by 4, and then so on, into this is, there's a minus j, na? So this is 1 by 3, 1 by 9, 1 by 27, and so on. So this is sum of infinite terms in geometric progression, 1 by 1 minus r. This is also sum of infinite terms in geometric progression. It is a by 1 minus r. Let's see what could be the answer. So this is 1 by 2, and then 2 goes to the numerator. This is 2 into, you get 2 by 3 in the denominator, 3 and 3 cancel, and then you are left with 1 by 2. So the product is 1 actually. So 1 is the answer for that question. And then they say x is a exponential random variable itself, and they gave the probability that x greater than 5 is 0.35, something like this, and they want this probability value, probability of x greater than 10 given x greater than 5. It's a conditional probability, students. This looks like probability of a given b, so write this. It's probability of x greater than 10 and x greater than 5 by the probability of x greater than 5. If you look at what's a common part, the common part of x greater than 10 and x greater than 5, what's the common part, students? Obviously the common part is x greater than 10 then by x greater than 5. So how do you write this? This, since it's an exponential, you all know for an exponential random variable, the probability of x greater than k is e power minus lambda k. So this will be like e power minus 10 lambda, and then it's e power minus 5 lambda, and then if you look at this ratio, this is e power minus 5 lambda. Actually this is also equal to e power minus 5 lambda, right? Because x greater than 5 is e power minus 5 lambda, which is given as 0.35. So the answer is e power minus 5 lambda, which is 0.35. The answer to this problem is 0.35. So we have given this in our test series also, the same pattern. So it repeated. So let's proceed. And then they say, like, there is a matrix like this: cos theta minus sin theta, cos theta. So you all know it's an orthogonal matrix. You would have studied many properties of an orthogonal matrix. It's like theta is 2 pi by 5. They want the value of a power 2026, and various options were given. In this kind of questions, you know how I solve? I check what is a square first. you try to check. If you don't know the properties of orthogonal matrix, try with A square. So what you will get is try to multiply this, you get a pattern actually. When this is multiplied with this, it gives you cos square minus sine square. Cos square minus sine square is cos 2 theta, right? So this element is cos 2 theta. Now when this row is multiplied with this, I mean sorry, it's already over. This row multiplied with this, it is minus sine cos, which is minus 2 sine cos, which is sine minus sine 2 theta. So this is minus sine 2 theta. So similarly this is sine 2 theta, and then this is cos 2 theta. Now what I observed is, I mean you keep continuing like this, it's an interesting property of an orthogonal matrix. You see A square and then you see 2 theta. You try to check A cube, you will see cos 3 theta and those kind of entries. So now we want A power 2026. Even this kind of question was given in our test series. So what is A power 2026? It is cos 2026 theta minus sine 2026 theta sine 2026 theta and then cos 2026 theta. If you can find what are these values, and it will be like you will almost finish the question. So what is cos 2026 into theta? Theta is given as 2 pi by 5. So you need to simplify this. How do you write this as? Maybe let's multiply this. This will be like cos. How much when I multiply? It would be 4052 pi divided by 5. Let me separate 4052 as 4050 plus 2. So you will slowly understand why I am writing like this. So when you write like this, 4050 is like, is it 80810? It's like 810 pi plus 2 pi by 5. 810 pi is like, it is expressed as a multiple of 2 pi actually. So finally what I want to convey is, if you have something like this 2 pi k plus 2 pi by 5, cos of, for example, what is cos of 2 pi plus theta? It is cos theta only. So it is cos theta. So this is cos 2 pi by 5. Similarly, sine 2 pi k plus theta, sine 2 pi plus theta is sine theta only. That means this is same as cos theta minus sine theta and then cos theta. So what it means is A power 2026 value is again A. So basic trigonometry is also needed to answer this. You can also use virtual calculator if you want. And then let's look at another question. So there's a matrix which is given to us like this. What are they asking? And they are saying that lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 be the eigenvalues of this matrix. And they also provided information that trace of A is something like 1 plus root 2. And here something like t takes values in the interval minus pi to pi. Some information is given like this. They want to know what are the values of t which satisfy this. So what's the trace? The trace of this matrix is 1 plus cos t plus cos t. Now in the problem they say the trace is equal to 1 plus root 2. So equate this. You get 1 plus 2 cos t equal to 1 plus root 2. You can cancel this, and then cos t value is root 2 by 2, which is 1 by root 2 na. So when is cos t equal to 1 by root 2? Whenever t is pi by 4, and also t minus pi by 4 also, because minus pi by 4 falls in that interval minus pi to pi. So this should be the right answer to that problem. And then there are many such questions. So they say that n1, n2, n3, n4. So they are all non-negative integers, it seems. Okay, they are all non-negative integers. So, and they say that n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus n4 value is 20 according to them. What's the probability that for the same equation, like firstly they are saying they are non-negative integers, what's the probability that you get a positive integer solution for this? So the question actually simplifies to how many non-negative solutions do you get, non-negative integer solutions you get, and how many positive integer valued solutions you get, and when you take the ratio, that will be the answer. You all know, we have been discussing in the classes, if you have an equation like this, we focus on the number which is on the right, and we also focus on the number of variables. So the total cases is nothing but the total number of non-negative integer solutions. How many? It is, there's a formula for that. N, this is n and this is r, it is n plus r minus 1 c r minus 1. So which is 20 plus 4 minus 1 c 4 minus 1. This would be the total number of cases. And the favorable cases, he talks about, I think, positive integer solutions. So if it is about positive integer solutions, the answer is n minus 1 c r minus 1, which is 20 minus 1 c 4 minus 1. So the answer is 19c3 by 23c3. So we have, like, we found nearly 20 questions, like students said, but we don't have a proper data. Like certain questions were MSQs, we didn't receive the data properly. So to whatever extent we have received, we are trying to solve it. And once we receive the question paper, we will have a complete discussion on that. Now this looks very interesting actually. You have a matrix called A, which is in the form of In minus 1 by n into, there's a bold 1 like this, into another bold 1 transpose, where this bold 1 I think contains all ones, it seems, all ones. So this is 1 cross n, and then maybe they might have a transpose on that. So this is nothing but it's a vector which contains all ones according to them. They are asking you about what kind of matrix is this. It looks like an MSQ. Options are, it's a projection matrix. And then m square is In. If it's a projection matrix, then m square won't be In, m square will be m. And then A transpose is A. If it's a projection matrix, then A transpose is definitely A, because projection matrices are symmetric in nature. And then trace of m is n, it seems. So how do you solve this question? So now what I feel is, if this is a vector which contains all ones, so if you look at this, like when I go through, if there is a vector like A, imagine there is a vector called A, and then like you want to have a projection matrix which projects any vector onto this or onto a line which is given by this vector A, then the corresponding projection matrix has this form, students. I am trying to teach you in a best possible way. Imagine there is a vector, okay, or there is a line, just imagine a line. So we have a vector along that line. You want to know what is projection of another vector along that line, then you can describe the whole process in terms of a projection matrix. So it is A into A transpose by A transpose into A. So here A is nothing but all ones actually, and when you look at A transpose A, so when you look at A transpose A, 1 1 1 multiplied with all 1 1 1, so when you multiply this you get n. That means in the denominator you will have n, and when you look at A into A transpose, this resembles like 1 into 1 transpose. What I am trying to tell you, that if you look at this, this is definitely a projection matrix. Sir, this is a projection matrix, try to identify that. Now, yes, I have confirmed that this is a projection matrix. I have been discussing this in the classroom as well. Anything in the form like you have a vector or you have a line, along that line you have a vector, you want to see what is the projection of a vector along this line, first you need to create a projection matrix like this and multiply that vector with this matrix, you get the required projection. So now this is a projection matrix, but the question is not about 1 by n into 1 into 1 transpose, the question is about in minus that. Now if you say that this is a projection matrix, then what we studied is in minus p is also a projection matrix. That's what we studied in our discussion, right? So this is a projection matrix m square is m, but he says m square is in, this is gone. And the projection matrix will definitely be a symmetric matrix, no doubt about that, this is correct. And then trace of m. If you look at projection matrix, trace of m is actually equal to rank of that projection matrix, rank of A. So how do you find rank of A? Maybe you can do a small verification here. Maybe you can take a 2 cross 2 matrix, construct what is A, and then you try to look at what is its determinant. If the determinant is 0, then it won't be a full rank. I have done that. I have taken n equal to 2, I constructed A, I got some entries like 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2, 1 by 2, where the determinant of that matrix is 0, it won't be a full rank. So it's not a full rank matrix. This is gone. This looks like an MSQ, and now we received another question with the same data, like there are 2 questions which have a similar data. Again, what are they saying is like A is a matrix like this, in minus 1 by n into 1 transpose, and then they have a vector called x which satisfies this property, x transpose x is 1, the norm of that vector is 1, and then they want to know what is the maximum value of x transpose Ax. So this is also a fantastic problem. You can solve in many ways. You can solve by taking n as 2, you can do it, that is one way, but I found one interesting way. So whenever the question is about to find the maximum value of x transpose Ax such that x transpose x is 1, try to find the eigenvalues of A, and among them look at the largest eigenvalue. So you want to know what's the maximum value of x transpose Ax, it will be equal to the largest eigenvalue of A. Now I know what's the largest eigenvalue of A, 1. Sir, how do you know that 1 is the largest eigenvalue? I know that in minus 1 by n 1 transpose the projection matrix eigenvalues are 0, 1. Among 0, 1, the largest eigenvalue is 1. Hence, the maximum value of this x transpose Ax is now 1. It's a fantastic problem. If not solved in a proper way, will waste lot of your time. And then, like we received a question, like there are people who have a disease. So people who have a disease, the probability that the people having disease is 0.3, and then not having the disease. So the disease probability is 0.3, and I'll write like this, disease probability is 0.3, not having the disease obviously is 0.7. And then they are saying the probability that a person has a disease and when he tests and that test comes positive, so I'm writing it in short, this is disease and the report comes positive is given as 0.8. The probability that he has a disease and the test is negative, this is 0.2, and then not having a disease and after testing it results in a positive, the probability is 0.1, and then no disease and the test is negative is 0.9, and then we see that there is some kind of conditional probability which is asked. Given that a person has tested positive, what's the probability that he has a disease? Now in this kind of problems, the best like it's a Bayes rule problem actually. So what's the probability that a person has a disease? If you can find that, the problem is almost solved. I'm sorry. Here, what's the probability the person test positive? Because D given P, so this is what? P is like our total event. If you can find what's the probability that the person test positive, it's done. So let's say the person has a disease, and so disease probability is 0.3. Having disease and getting a positive result is 0.8 plus. It's like I'm trying to say when will the test be positive in two cases. One is disease and then the test is positive. The person has no disease and the test comes as positive. So there are two cases. So no disease probability is 0.7, and then no disease and the test being positive is 0.1. Now among this, I think this is the term because this is related to disease. So you put this in the numerator, looks like an NAT, so get this ratio, that will be your answer. So these are the questions that we have received so far. There are few more questions that we have received, but those questions are not clear as of now. So as soon as we get few more questions accurate to some accuracy, we will try to discuss with you. So thanks for staying with us. We have the next subject coming up, and meanwhile you people please comment. You have gone through all the solutions. Did you get the same answers? If you have any ambiguity, you can discuss with us. Whatever are the new questions, you please message us. We will try to help you. So the next faculty will continue the session.
Hello students, now we are going to discuss the memory based questions on machine learning. Actually we have 4 1 mark questions and 5 2 marks questions from our subject, and all the questions are easy, very easy, and those who have followed the classes and notes, class notes, for them answering these 9 questions will be a cakewalk. So we will see the questions one by one. Of course there will be a slight variation because these are memory based questions. They are not exactly the wording and framing of the question is not exactly the same, but the values as well as the options are almost matches with the paper. Original paper. The given question is, in a classification problem, principal component analysis is used to reduce the feature space from 100 to 10. If theta is the angle between first and 10th principal components, then option A, the value of theta is in between 90 to 180, option B, theta is equal to 90 degrees, and option C, the value of theta is in between 0 to 90, and option D, it is 0 degrees. The value of theta is 0 degrees. We know in principal component analysis, basically the principal components are orthogonal to each other because they are eigenvectors. The principal components are obtained from the eigenvectors, so which are always orthogonal to each other, whether it is first principal component versus 10th, or first versus second, or second versus third, whatever it may be, the principal components are always orthogonal to each other such that the angle between them is 90 degrees. So theta is equal to 90 degrees. Option B is the right answer. Next question. It is also a very simple and direct question. That is a match the following question. A certain task is given at one side and the corresponding set of algorithms are given to us. They are given as follows. The task is clustering, classification, sampling, and feature. Actually it is feature extraction, not selection. So this is feature extraction as far as I remember, because there is a slight difference between feature selection methods and feature extraction methods, and feature extraction methods are closely related to your dimensionality reduction. And in our syllabus we have 2 dimensionality reduction techniques. One is PCA and principal component analysis, and the other one is LDA, linear discriminant analysis. So the feature extraction method is LDA, linear discriminant analysis, and K-medoid is the clustering technique. We know that K-means and K-medoid are the clustering algorithms, partitional clustering methods, and naive Bayes is the classification task can be done by the naive Bayes algorithm. Naive Bayes can be mainly used for multi-class classification. It is mainly used to solve multi-class classification problems. So classification can be done by naive Bayes, and of course actually sampling is not there in our syllabus. What do we mean by sampling? But by looking at the remaining 3 tasks, we can guess what could be the algorithm that is capable to perform this sampling. That could be a good guess. Sampling is nothing but from the entire population data set extracting a subset or a sample set. So Markov chain is in Markov chain Monte Carlo method is used to perform that task. Actually it is not directly mentioned in our syllabus, and the feature extraction methods, that is nothing but dimensionality reduction, in a way you can say that, and that can be done by your linear discriminant analysis. Basically in feature extraction, the shape of the features, actually the feature cannot be maintained as it is in the original data set. the actual behavior of the features can be completely changed in PCA as well as LDA, such that the feature it is not a feature selection method, there is a feature extraction method. LDA is a feature extraction method. So T1 is mapped to P2, T2 is mapped to P4, T3 mapped to P1, and T4 mapped to P3 is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following statements is true about ridge regression? This is a 2 marks question, a simple 2 marks question. And the option A, the regularizer in the objective function of ridge regression is used to guard against scenarios where the model works well for test data but poorly for training data. Option B, the regularizer of ridge regression increases bias of the model but helps in decreasing variance of predictions. Option C, regularizer of ridge regression uses a L1 norm. Option D, ridge regression aims to reduce the number of parameters with negative values. So, first we will begin with option D. Ridge regression aims to reduce the number of parameters with negative values is a false statement. Why it is false? This is because the objective of ridge regression is to penalize every weight equally. It won't work with only a certain number of weights or model parameters. It works and it equally penalizes all the model parameters. You know that we discussed that in our class with the complete mathematical analysis. Right, so the ridge regression aims to reduce only the parameters with negative values is incorrect statement. Then regularizer of ridge regression uses L1 norm. This is also a false statement. Lasso uses L1 norm and ridge uses L2 norm. So this is also a false statement. Next. The regularizer of ridge regression increases bias of the model but helps in decreasing variance of the predictions. This is a correct statement because whenever you penalize the model parameter adjusts every the regularization parameter adjusts every model parameter slightly such that the variance gets reduced on every iteration, such that the predicted variance decreases. So we know in the bias variance trade-off, whenever the bias decreases, the variance, whenever the variance decreases, bias increases. So that is a natural phenomenon. So that is called bias variance trade-off. So as per that idea, bias of the model increases slightly, but it helps in decreasing the variance of predictions. So that would be a correct statement. And the regularizer, option A, the regularizer in the objective function of ridge regression is used to guard against scenarios where the model works well for test data, poorly for training data. This is opposite to the overfitting scenario. That will not happen usually. So if a model is poorly performing on training data, we never consider that model for testing purpose. And we will we have a very important and powerful assumption that whenever the training performance is poor, that performance will be appended directly to the testing purpose, whatever the test data set we have, even without calculating that. So this is a completely invalid statement based on that assumption. Okay. So even the model performs well on test data without showing good performance on training data, because if the training results a good performance, if training itself leads to a poor performance, having a good and well performed test data is meaningless, right? So in that way we can say that option A is also an incorrect statement. So here the correct answer is option B. Next question. X and Y are two authors, where author X published 20 books and author Y published 10 books. All the books are kept together without revealing the author names. A classification algorithm is used to predict the author of the book. Out of all X stories, 6 are classified as that of Y, and out of all Y stories, 2 are classified as that of X. Which of the following statements are correct? Option A, precision of X is greater than the precision of Y. Option B, recall of X is greater than recall of Y. And option C, the accuracy of the model is 11 by 15. And option D, the accuracy of the model is 14 by 15. This is a very simple question, and these kind of questions, almost 3 to 4 questions we have solved in our class, and another 2 to 3 questions I have given in the test series. So the precision, recall, accuracy are these calculations are based on the we will construct, and actually in the problem the false positives and false negatives are given to us, right? So let us consider your actual X and actual Y and predicted X and predicted as Y. Among the actual books, X is said to be having actually 20 books and Y is having 10 books, right? So this is the confusion matrix. In order to obtain the precision, recall and accuracy, always you need to look at the confusion matrix, and instead of positive and negative, they are to be mentioned as X and Y. Without naming them as positive and negative, you can construct the confusion matrix and you can calculate the precision and recall. So it is mentioned that in the problem statement, it is mentioned that out of all X stories, that means out of 20 stories of X, 6 are classified as that of Y. So out of these 20 of X, 6 are predicted as that of Y. So that prediction is a false prediction. So that false prediction is 6, and the remaining 14 are correctly identified out of 20. So let us mark them as actually, they are actually X books, and they are also predicted as the books of X. Similarly, come to Y. In the problem statement, it is given that out of all Y stories, that means out of 10 stories, 2 are classified as that of X. So that means they are predicted as the stories of X. How many? 2. So out of 10, 2 are predicted as that of X. Remaining 8, what about remaining 8? They are predicted as, those remaining 8 are predicted as the books of Y only, right? So this is the constructed confusion matrix based on which now we can write precision as well as recall. So the precision of X, it is given as precision is the precision of the prediction, that is among the predicted X, what fraction is correct. So how many positive predictions you have here, how many X predictions we have here. Don't use positive and negative. Okay, so how many x predictions we have here by the algorithm? 16. Out of 16, how many are correct? 14. So what fraction is correct among all the predicted for x? So that is 14 by 16. So that value is 0.875. Similarly, get the precision of y. How many are predicted here? 14 are predicted by the algorithm as the books belongs to y. But how many are correct? 8 are correct. So 8 out of 14. So 8 by 14, that value is 0.57. So look at the first statement. Precision of x is greater than precision of y. That is a correct statement. So precision of x greater than precision of y is a correct statement. Next, recall of x is greater than recall of y. So in a similar way, let us get the recall values. What is recall? Among the actual x, how many are predicted as predicted correctly? So what fraction of the actual x's is corrected predictly? So 14 out of 20. Similarly, in y, among the total 10, how many are correctly predicted by the algorithm? 8. So that would be 8 by 10. So 14 by 20. So recall of x. Recall of x in option B, you need to get recall of x. Out of 20 actual x books, 14 are predicted correctly by the algorithm. So that value is 7 by 10, 0.7. And similarly, recall of y. So that would be out of 10 books, 8 are predicted correctly. So that would be 0.8. So as far as recall is concerned, recall of y is greater than recall of x. So look at the statement. Recall of x is greater than recall of y is the given statement. So that is an incorrect statement. So this would be an incorrect statement. Next, the accuracy of the model is 11 by 15 and the accuracy of the model is 14 by 15. Let us calculate the accuracy. What is the accuracy? You just look at the confusion matrix, and from the confusion matrix we can tell that directly. So it would be predicted x correctly plus predicted y correctly divided by total books, that is 20 plus 10. So this value is 14 plus 8, 22 divided by 30, which is nothing but 11 by 15. So 11 by 15 is the correct answer. If 11 by 15 is correct, then 14 by 15 is incorrect. So this is correct statement, and the accuracy is 14 by 15 would be incorrect. So this is a multiple select question where options A and C both are correct. Options A and C both are correct. Next question. So many questions. Even previous year gate question is there, and even we also have solved a couple of questions. Even we solved partially connected artificial networks also in our class. So this is a very simple and straightforward question from neural networks. In a fully connected artificial neural network, the input layer contains 13 neurons. The ANN contains 2 hidden layers and 1 output layer. The hidden layer 1 contains 4 neurons and the hidden layer 2 contains 3 neurons. The output layer has 1 neuron. No bias exists for any neuron. The number of trainable parameters are. So a straightforward simple question. The input layer contains 30 inputs. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on like this, 30. So input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4, so on up to input 30. We are having the first hidden layer with 4 neurons. We are having the first hidden layer with 4 neurons. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is hidden layer 1. Neuron 1, neuron 2, 3 and 4. Because it is a full connection. First input, second input, third input, like that, all the 30 inputs will be connected to the first neuron, and every input is having its own weight. So in that way, I am having 30 weights here. Actually speaking, you need to add one more also, that is bias. But it is mentioned that no bias exists for any neuron. So no need to consider that. Similarly, for the second neuron, I1, I2, I3, I4, all these inputs are connected with again 30 model parameters or 30 weights. Repeat for third neuron and repeat for fourth neuron. So 30 multiplied with 4, that is equal to 120 model parameters between input layer and hidden layer 1. Next, consider hidden layer 2. Hidden layer 2 contains 1, 2, 3 neurons, and this is giving one output, second, third and fourth intermediate outputs. And this first neuron, second neuron, third neuron and fourth neuron, all of them are connected to the first neuron of hidden layer 2 with their respective weights. So that we are having 4 weights here. Again same, these 4 are connected to the second neuron of hidden layer 2, again 4, and here also 4. If the bias exists, then 4 plus 1, 5 will come. Okay, so then 4 multiplied with 3, 12. And then your output. The output layer contains only 1 neuron. So 1, 2, 3. These 3 are connected with their respective weights, so that here I am getting 3 weights plus 3. So total 120 plus 15, that is 135 trainable parameters. So the answer is 135. Next question. And similar kind of question I have given in test series with the Manhattan distance only. A data set in 3-dimensional feature space with 4 data examples is given as follows. P1 is 2, 3, minus 1. P2 is 3, 1, 1. P3 is 5, minus 2 and 3. And P4, 3, 3, 3. An agglomerative hierarchical clustering is used to group the data examples. If the Manhattan distance is used as the distance metric, then which of the following 2 data examples are merged first? Option A, P2, P4, option B, P3, P4, and option C, P2, P3, and option D, P1, P2. So we are having a data set that is there in 3-dimensional space. So we are having 3 features F1, F2 and F3 and 4 data examples P1, P2, P3. So let us tabulate that data. The data set is like this. I am having features F1, F2 and F3 and the data points are P1, P2, P3 and P4. Right. P1 corresponding values associated with the 3 features are 2, 3 and -1. P2, 3, 1 and 1. P3, 5, -2 and 3. For P4, it is 3, 3 and 3. Actually, the distance matrix is to be obtained. What do we have in distance matrix? One data example to another data example distance based on certain distance metric. So what is the distance metric that we are using here? Manhattan distance. So what is Manhattan distance? So that would be given by, so if I am considering this feature vector and this feature vector, value by value you need to take the absolute difference, that's all, very simple idea. So 2 minus 3 minus 1, its absolute value is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Minus 1 minus 1 minus 2, its absolute value is 2. The Manhattan distance is the summation of those values. So like that, how many distances you need to calculate? P12, the distance P12 is equal to 2 minus 3 is minus 1, its absolute value is 1, plus 3 minus 1 is 2, plus minus 1, that is 2. So its value is 5. Similarly, obtain P13. P13 is 2 minus 5 is 3. I am always taking the positive value because we need always the absolute. 3 minus 2, 3 minus of minus 2 plus 5 minus 1 minus 3, again that would be 4. It is 12. Next, got the distance P14. We need the distance P14. So that is equals to 1 plus 0 plus 4. So its value is 5. What we need to do next? So P1, P2, P1, P2, P1, P3, P1, P4 distances are over. Next, consider P2, P2, P1. P2, P1 distance is same as P1, P2 distance. So no need to consider that. P2, P3 distance, that is P23. P23, that is equals to 3 minus 5, that is 2, plus 1 plus 2, that is 3, plus 1 minus 3, that is 2. So its value is 7. Next, P24. P24 is 3 minus 3, 0, plus 1 minus 3 is 2, plus 1 minus 3 is 2. So this is 4. Next, come to P3. P3, P1 is same as P13. P3, P2 is same as P23. Then we need P34. That P34 is equal to 5 minus 3, 2, plus minus 2 minus 3, that is 5, plus 3 minus 3 is 0. So this is 7. While coming to P4, P4, P1 is same as P14, P4, P2 is same as P24, P4, P3 is same as P34. So all the distances are there with you. So in the distance matrix, either the upper triangle or the lower triangle is there with you. Now, in order to merge the data points, you always consider the minimum distance, you know that. So let us identify the minimum distance. Here the minimum distance is in between the data examples 2 and 4. So P2, P4, that is there in option A. So option A is the correct answer. Option A is the right answer. Next question. In a supervised learning task, the objective function f of w is equal to wx is to be minimized. The input x belongs to R and weights w belongs to R. The learning rate of stochastic gradient descent algorithm is given as 0.1. At the end of the ith iteration, w is equal to 10. Let x is equal to 10 be the input to the I plus 1th iteration. The value of w at the end of I plus 1th iteration is. So here x is supposed to be the input of ith iteration. Okay, so this is again a very simple question related to the gradient descent algorithm. In gradient descent algorithm, we know that the updated weight w new is equal to the present weight minus learning rate, that could be taken as alpha, nu or lambda, whatever it may be. So, but that is your learning rate multiplied with the gradient. Gradient is given by your objective function dou f divided by the model parameter dou w. Right? This needs to be taken at w is equal to w present, that is ith iteration. So, what is the present w value that is given to you in the statement? That is 10 minus alpha value is 0.1. That is your learning rate. Learning rate multiplied with the gradient. The objective function is wx, so its gradient is dou f by dou w. So that is equal to x. So the value of x is equal to 10 for w is equal to wi. So 0.1 multiplied with 10. So that is equal to 10 minus 1. So the updated weight is equal to 9. So 9 is the correct answer. So the correct answer is 9. Next question. Right, next question. A linear ridge regressor is used to learn a prediction function. Y prediction is equal to W transpose X. The weight W belongs to R square and the input X belongs to R square. That is R2 space, two-dimensional feature space. The mean absolute error is used to measure prediction error. A weight of 0.2 is associated with the regularizer. As an intermediate training process, W is equal to minus 3,4. That is the weight vector that is given in its transposed form. In the next step, for X is equal to 1 to, the predicted value of Y is noted. The relation between X, that is equal to X1, X2, and the true output is given as Y true is equal to X1 plus X2. The value of regularized loss for this specific instance is, here we did a very in-depth mathematical analysis for cost. What is the difference between cost and loss? Cost is for all the data examples. The cost function gives the cost of all the data examples, but here this is a simple question where it has been asked for a single data example, right? So it is a regularized linear regression, and that is also a linear ridge regression. So according to the idea of ridge regression, in ridge regression, in revision class also we discussed this. In ridge regression, the loss would be simply given as whatever the error or the prediction error we have, that error here in this specific case, that is mean absolute error plus the regularizer term would be lambda multiplied with norm of W, that is L2 norm. This is L2 norm. L2 norm. That is very important because it is ridge regression. If it is lasso regression, that would be L1 norm. That is just the difference between absolute value summation, right? So everything is there with you. What is the error? The mean, first you need to calculate the prediction error. The prediction error is given by, for the given specific data example, y prediction minus y true. Its absolute value is needed for me, right? So what is y prediction? Y prediction is nothing but W transpose X. Y prediction is W transpose X. So W is already there in its transposed form. So it would be minus 3, 4 multiplied with the feature vector X. What it is? 1, 2. So it is equals to minus 3 plus 8. So that value is 5. What is the true value of output y? That is given as, the true value is given as simply x1 plus x2. For this specific data example, that is 1 plus 2. That is 3. So is 1 plus 2. That is equal to 3. So therefore, the desired mean absolute error, that is nothing but your prediction error, is nothing but 5 minus 3, that is equal to 2. And let us obtain L2 norm of your W, that is equal to square root of 3 square plus 4 square. So this value is equal to 5, right? So this is to be multiplied with lambda. L2 norm is to be multiplied with lambda. That value is given as lambda value, right, 0.2. Small correction. Here we need to take L2 norm, that is the squared norm is to be taken because it is a ridge regression. So then accordingly it would be 25. So now regularization term, the regularization term would be lambda multiplied with L2 norm square. Here also I'll change that. Squared value. So this is equals to 25 multiplied with 0.2, that is 25 by 5, its value is 5. Therefore, the loss is equal to, the error term is giving a value 2 and regularization term is giving a value 5, so that it is equal to 7. So correct answer is 7. So these are the questions that we got from machine learning. So I hope you did well, and I am closing. Thank you very much.
Students previously have solved certain questions. Now I have received few more questions. I want to solve them. So they say that x and y are independent, like x is a Bernoulli random variable where the parameter p value is 0.3, and y is a normal random variable whose mean is 0 and the variance is given as 100, and they say that x and y are independent. What they want is the variance of 2x minus 1 into y. This is what they want. Now let's say z be 2x minus 1 into y. I'll be interested in finding the mean of z. The mean of z is expectation of 2x minus 1 into y. Since they are okay, you can also write like this. It is mean of 2x minus 1 into the mean of y, because they are independent actually. Now when the mean of y is 0, there is no need to find this, so this is obviously 0. And then finally I want to find the variance, so you need the second moment as well. Let's see what is z square. 2x minus 1 whole square into y square. What is this? This is 4x square y square minus 4x y square, and then plus 1 square, and then this is y square. This is z square, and I need expected value of z square. 4 times expected value of x square into expected value of y square minus 4 into expected value of x into expected value of y square plus expected value of y square. Now what is x? It's a Bernoulli random variable. You need the second moment. Now Bernoulli makes the things very simple. It takes only two values. One is 0, other is 1, with probabilities as p and 1 minus p. If you want the second moment, it is 1 square into p, which is p. So this is 4p into expectation of y square. Since it is 0 mean, the second moment and the variance are same, it is into 100. And then expectation of x is also p. It looks like this and this cancel. You are just left with expectation of y square. Expectation of y square, since it's a 0 mean, it is equal to the variance. The answer to this problem is 100. So see how simple was this. They gave x and y are independent, and then this expectation of x square and expectation of x for a Bernoulli are same. Then these are two actually identical terms. You have a subtraction gone. Expectation of y square is 100. And then there is a very good question like this. They say that x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, they have some data like this, where they say that these values, this xi take values from the set 0 to 20, and then the mean of this data is given as 12, the median is given as 18, and they say that it has got a single mode. They are very particular. I think it has got a single mode, and that is how much? 20 it seems. So what they want is they want like how many ways are there in which you will have mean to be 12, median to be 18, and the single mode being 20. Now let's imagine that these are arranged in like increasing order. Since you have got odd number of observations, the median is 18, which means let's fix x3 as 18, and then is a single mode. Now if your mode is 20, that means the observation 20 has to repeat at least like it has to repeat more than once, right? And so let's say that x4 and x5 has to be 20, right? Single mode he says, so it has to repeat, then only the mode can be 20. And now when the mean is 12, what we can say is x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 by 5 has to be 12. When 5 goes this side, 12 into 5 is 60, this has to be 16. So now we have some update, x1 plus x2 plus this is 18, and then this is 20 plus 20 equal to 60. 40, 58, and then we are left with x1 plus x2 equal to how much? 2. And then if your observations are like from 0 to 20, like how many ways are there? And I think in the question he also says ignore, in the process you try to ignore the permutations of this. So x1 plus x2 has to be 2 means it could be 1 plus 1 being 2, 2 plus 0 also being 2, 0 plus 2 also being 2, but he clearly said ignore the permutations. Then the different ways are here too. Like you will have data like this 1, 1, 18, 20, 20, or 0, 2, 18, 20, 20. There are two ways in which you can get mean to be 12, median to be 18, single mode to be, I mean there are two such ways. And then they have linked a question which is related to matrices as well as the probability. According to the question, I have a rough data actually. What they say is it's a 5 cross 5 matrix where all the entries, like the entries Aij, are Bernoulli in nature, meaning they are either 0 or 1, and the probability is given as 0 point, but the parameter is given. So zeros and ones are equally likely to occur. This is what the information is given. What they want is what's the probability that the second row sum is 3 and third column sum is also 3. They want the probability of this event. This looks really fantastic because the ones who understand the Bernoulli random variable properly, the ones who understand how to deal with the matrices, only those people can actually solve this question. So what shall we do? Let's roughly draw 5 rows and then 5 columns like this. So he's talking about the second row, okay, second row, and then the third column, okay. So there is one common element between the second row and the third column here, that is this fellow. So I can say that it is A23. So roughly what we have is, we want, if you add all this, the sum has to be 3, and same way if you add all this, let me highlight those elements, this, if you add this, if you add, the sum has to be 3. So this looks really fantastic actually. So how do we solve this? So if you want this, let me do the conditioning. So let's say I'm writing in short, row sum has to be 3 and column sum has to be 3, given A23 is this element A23, second row third column, 0 into the probability that A23 is 0, because this element can be 0 or 1. So we have to analyze for a case where this can be 0 and for a case where this can be 1, plus the same thing again, the row second row sum has to be 3 and the column third column sum has to also be 3, given A23 is 1 into the probability of A23 is 1. So when you say it's given that A23 is 0, you can assume this to be 0, and then you have A21. Look at the ideas, students, the way we are solving this. You will definitely enjoy this. A23 is anyway 0, so don't write that. A24 plus A25, this sum has to be now 3. Similarly, this column sum has to be 3. If you figure out what's the answer for this, you'll get the other way also. Now this is Bernoulli, this is Bernoulli, this is Bernoulli, this is Bernoulli. They're all independent. When you add, the new sum is binomial actually, right? So you have 4 Bernoulli random variables added. You want the sum to be 3. A21, it is either 0 or 1. This is either 0 or 1. This is 0 or 1, 0 or 1. It's like you have 4 trials and you want success 3 times. You have 4 trials and you want success 3 times. It's like 4C3 1 by 2, because out of the 4 I want 3 ones actually, so it's 4C3 into 1 by 2 whole power 1. Anyway, since P is 1 by 2, P and 1 minus P both would be 1 by 2. In that case it will be 1 by 2 whole power 4. So this is what is this probability into A23 being 0 is 1 by 2. Just a second. Now this is row sum to be 3 and the column sum to be also be 3. So when you add this and you want that to be 3, again those elements are also added, you get the same thing na. 4C3 1 by 2 whole power 4, and this element has to be 1 by, this probability is 1 by 2, plus given A23 is 1. So now earlier you fixed this as 0, now you are fixing this as 1. If that is 1 and if this is 1, then the sum of this has to be 2 na, because this is already 1. Then sum of these elements has to be 2 na. So now you will change this, value to 2. Again this is a binomial random variable. You want the sum now to be 2, or out of the 4 trials you want 2 success. So what will you write for that? 4C2, it is 1 by 2 whole power 4 into again the same thing, because the column sum also you are looking at, 4C2 into 1 by 2 whole power 4 into A23 being 1, the probability of this event is 1 by 2. So this is 2 power 4, this is 2 power 4 and one more 2 waiting out, 2 power 9. So you'll have in the denominator 1 by 2 power 9, and then 4C3 is 4, 4C2 24 by 4, 2 into 2, 6. Is it 6? 24 by 4? Yes, 6. So try to get a decimal value for this. Is everything okay? Looks like okay. No, it is not okay actually, because there is a whole square which I have missed. So just let me just complete this. Actually you have 4C3 into 4C3, so 16 there, plus here 4C2 is 6, 6 into 6 is 36, and then by 2 power 9. So how much will be this? Will be this be 52 by 2 power 9? I'm just giving you the idea. See how Bernoulli, how this matrix, how the conditioning is done. This looks really brilliant. And then we did not get the data properly from the students, but what students are saying is something like this. So please understand, when we get the actual paper, we will discuss in a detailed way, or we try to provide you the solutions in a detailed way. So this looks like this. They say that x1, x2 and then up to xn are the data values. where they have taken the value of n as 100 and then they gave something like this 1 by 2000 summation I from 1 to n, which is 100 anyway, summation j from 1 to 100, it is xi minus xj whole square. This value is given as 99 and then they are defining something called x bar. X bar is 1 by n summation I from 1 to n xi, and they have not given us this value, so just x bar is so and so it seems. And then what they want, I think the student says they want 1 by 99 summation I from 1 to n xi minus x bar whole square. So this is the approximate question, students. So once we get the data, we'll be helping you in a detailed way. So till then, just keep messaging us, and then let's look at the solution for this. So maybe I'll solve in a different color. Firstly, 1 by 2000, let's write like 1 by 20 into 1 by 100, and then summation over I, summation over j. Xi minus xj whole square can be written as xi minus x bar minus xj minus x bar and then whole square. This kind of problem was solved in the classroom actually, so try to recollect that. This is 1 by 20 and then 1 by 100. I want to take 1 by 100 inside. This is summation over I from 1 to 100, the summation, and then you have summation j from 1 to 100. When you expand, this looks like a minus b whole square, a square plus b square minus 2ab. If you look at a square term, it is xi minus x bar whole square plus xj minus x bar whole square minus 2ab, like this, x bar and then xj minus x bar, and then you have to take the summation inside, and then there is a 1 by 100 waiting for you. So what is going to happen? If you simplify this, whatever answer you get for this, you get the same answer for this. You see there is a symmetry, or the same data is used here. So don't spend too much time on simplifying this and this. Simplify one, the answer would be 2 times that, and then try to simplify this. Let's go to the next page. Now when I take the summation on this fellow, I may not write in detail, I am just showing you. It's 1 by 20, you have a summation with respect to y, so you have a first term like this plus 1 by 100, you can also put 1 by 100 if you want here for this term. I am just simplifying the second term. You have summation over j, it is xj minus x bar whole square. If you look at this 1 by 100, from your observations you are subtracting the mean and you are squaring. Is it not the variance of x? Is this part not the variance of x? This part is clearly variance of x. And then you have another summation, and then the same variance, when it is added 100 times, you know what happens? You get 1 by 20 into 100 into variance of x, this term, plus you have another term which is again 100 into variance of x, and then you have that minus 2ab term. So that minus 2ab term, if you see, you will be like, let me just send one summation inside. Let me send one summation inside. You will be surprised to see the way it gets simplified. When the summation with respect to j goes inside, if the summation acts on this fellow, then this is summation xj minus summation x bar. Summation xj is nx bar, because look at this, summation xi is nx bar. So here summation xj is nx bar minus, you add x bar n times, it is nx bar again, and the difference is 0. When this is 0, 0 into this is 0, and again and summation on that is 0, so this is now gone. So now what are we left over with? We are left over with 1 by 20 into variance 100 times of this plus 100 times of this equal to 99. This sum is equal to 99. This is 200 by 20 into variance of x, which is 99. This cancels this by 10 times, and then I got variance of x as 99 by 10. In the question, what is asked is something like this. In the question, they asked 1 by 99 summation I from 1 to 100 xi minus x bar whole square. Array, let's rearrange 100 by 99 into 1 by 100 summation xi minus x bar whole square. Is this not the variance of x? So this is like 100 by 99 into variance of x. Just now we calculated the variance of x. How much is that? It's 99 by 10, and then you have a cancellation. You are left with the answer as 10. This looks amazing. So once we get the data, maybe we might improve on this. So please leave a comment about this in the chat section, what kind of answer you got for this. So far, these are the questions. We have received few more actually, but the data we want, because they are all MSQ. So if you can send us the proper data, we will solve few more. So we have so Srinivas Chaudhary sir taking aptitude now.
Right.
Hello friends, let's have a look at the aptitude part. We have received some questions from aptitude as well. So from the questions we have received, we can say the question level is moderate to difficult. There are some easy questions too, like this is one of the easy questions from the set. Product of digits of a 3-digit number is 70, sum of the digits is what? So product of the digits of a 3-digit number they have given. If you are taking xyz as a 3-digit number, so product of the digits is being given as 70. So x into y into z is being given as 70 over there. So we can say that x into y into z is 70. So how do we get the product of the 3 digits as 70? So you write it as product of 3 numbers over here. So the possibility over here is what? As x, y and z represent 3 digits of a 3-digit number, so each number has to be a single digit number over here. That's why it has to be what? 2 into 5 into 7 you can write it as. 2 into 5 into 7 only can give you the product as 70 over there. So the values of x, y, z would be 2, 5 and 7 is what we can say. They are asking you for the sum of the digits, hence your answer has to be x plus y plus z is what we are looking for. That should be equal to what? 2 plus 5 plus 7. That should be how much? 14. This is the answer for it. This is one of the simpler problems that we have got in this set. Next one, this is related to logarithms part. M and n with m greater than n is given and x is equal to n to the power of log m base 10 and y is equal to m to the power of log m base 10. Here it is n dear, log n base 10. Relationship between x and y is what? So here we know that x is equal to n to the power of log m base 10 and y is equal to m to the power of log n base 10. This is what is given. Relationship between x and y they are saying. So whenever you are having something like this, whenever you are having a to the power of log b base c, something like this, you can interchange this a and b. That's what we know. Based on that you can solve it, or otherwise there is one more method also. I'll try to get that alternate method. So if you know that property over there, you can interchange this n and m over here. If you are interchanging m and n over here, this will be equal to m to the power of log n base 10. In that case, I can directly say that x and y are equal. No sir, I am not getting that idea. So in that case, what you can do is the other method I will tell you. Apply logarithm on both the sides. So this will give you log x is equal to logarithm of n to the power of log m base 10. That gives you log m base 10 into log n. When no base is there, default base is 10 is what we know. Similarly, if you are applying logarithm over here, log y is equal to, if you are applying log over here, log m to the power of log n base 10, so that gives you log n base 10 into log m base 10. From these two I can say that log x is equal to log y. If log x is equal to log y, from that we can say that x must be equal to y. Hence the relationship between x and y is what? X is equal to y is what we can say. Next one, 5 integers are picked from 0 to 20 with possible repetition such that their mean is equal to 12. There is a possibility of repetition and the mean must be 12. Median is 18 and single mode at 20. Ignore permutations, number of possible ways is what? So we just have to ignore that permutations that are possible over there. Median is given as 18. Let us assume the terms as x1, x2 like this, x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. And if you feel that these are in ascending order, median is nothing but the middle term, hence I can say that x3 must be 18. Median is given as 18. And it is said that the mean is 12. If the mean is 12, sum should be 60. Sum should be 60. So here the sum should be 60 is what we can say. As the mean is 12, number of terms are 5. So 12 into 5 should give you 60. So sum of the terms should be 60. And there is a single mode that is 20. Single mode that is 20 means mode is nothing but the term that is repeating most number of times. So here the only possibility over here is this, you can take x4 as 20, x5 as 20. In that case the mode will become 20 and I should not get any other terms that are repeating over here because there is a single mode they said. So x1 plus x2 plus 18 plus 20 plus 20 should give you 60. From this I can say that x1 plus x2 must be equal to how much? 2. 40 plus 18, 58. So x1 plus x2 must be 2. Here x1 and x2 must be 2. I can take x1 and x2 as 1 and 1. If I am taking x1 and x2 as 1 and 1, the number of modes will become 2. It will become bimodal, but I need only one mode. That's why taking 1 and 1 over here is eliminated, because there is only single mode, they said. If I am taking x1 and x2 as 1 and 1, modes will become 2. That's why 1 and 1 combination I should not take. The other possibility is what? I can take x1 and x2 as what? 0 and 2. 0 plus 2 will be 2. So now 0 and 2. So you can also take it as 2 and 0, it doesn't really matter, but they have given ignore permutation. So 0 to or 2 0 is one and only semi, so it doesn't really matter. So here, how many combinations you are going to get? Only one combinations. The number of ways you are going to get over here is what? Only one. What is that one? x1 should be 0, x2 should be 2, x3 is 18, x4 is 20 and x5 is also 20. This satisfies all the conditions that are given over there. So in how many ways you can do that? There is only one way. Right, dear? This is the next problem that is related to logical puzzles. This logical puzzles problem, like it is based on pure logic. I can say it is from reasoning or logical puzzles is what we can say. You have to be a bit careful when you are reading the data here, because the question is looking lengthy. That's why people are getting confused. If the question is lengthy, it is easy to solve, provided you understand the data given properly. Now going ahead with, they have given two people, Rishi and Shweti are belonging to class 5 and Pawan and Tanvi are belonging to class 4. All are playing chess and a player who lost a game will not participate further. That means it is a knockout tournament where two people may be playing. The winner will advance to the next level, loser will be quitting the tournament over there. That's what they have mentioned. Next, the first game was the only game where two students of the same class played against. So only in the first game, two students of the same class have played against. Say suppose in the first game, if these two are playing with each other, obviously these two have to play with each other. That is one implication. Second, the student of class 5 won more games than the student of class 4. The student of class 5 won more games than class 4. And the boys won 2 and girls won 1. The student who did not lose any game is what? Now here you apply a little bit of observation here. Observation is what? Say suppose these two are winning. If these two are playing, out of them one should win. And see how many matches will happen. If 4 people are there, 3 matches will happen. In the first round, these two people will play, Rishi and Shweti will play, and Pawan and Tanvi will play. 2 matches will happen. The winner of this and the winner of this will come and play the next game. So the game is over. That means totally 3 games will happen in that knockout tournament. Now they have said out of that boys are winning 2 times, girls are winning only 1 time. So keep this in mind. That means in this group, in this particular group, one boy should win, one girl should win. That's what we can conclude. Now going ahead with. So Rishi and Shweti are there. Say suppose if Rishi is winning, Shweti is eliminated, Rishi will advance to the next level. Now going ahead with. So here if I am taking, say suppose here, if I am taking this person as winner, Pawan as winner, no woman is winning over there, no lady is winning over there. That's why you cannot take Pawan as the winner, take Tanvi as the winner. So Rishi and Tanvi will play the third game. First game Rishi and Shweti, second game Pawan and Tanvi have played. Out of this Rishi has won, let us say. So here I cannot take Pawan as the winner, because if Pawan is the winner, so no woman is winning even a single game also. That's why there should be a woman winner. That's why in this one, if you imagine Tanvi as the winner, the Tanvi will advance to the next level. In the next level, Tanvi will play with Rishi. And they have given that more number of games are won by class 5 students than class 4 students. So that means out of 3 games, 2 games class 5 students have to win. That means, so already this fellow is the winner from class 5. This Tanvi is the winner from class 4. When they are playing together, again who is supposed to win over there? Rishi is supposed to win. Why? If you take Tanvi as the winner, so women are winning 2 games, this game and this game, whereas boys are winning only 1 game. So that rule is not satisfied. That's why in the in this third game, in the second round, I can say Rishi should be the winner. In that case, boys are winning how many times? 2 times. Rishi is winning here as well as here. Whereas women have won only 1 game, so this game only women have won. So in this game, that's women who have advanced to the second round has lost. So who is that boy who has never lost the game, they are saying. So that should be boy from class 5. Boy from class 5. That should be who? That should be Rishi. Hence your answer has to be what? Rishi. Right? Next one, and this is the last one we have. PQ, RS, X and Y are distinct. PQ is a 2-digit number with Q at unit place and P at tens place. Similarly, RS. So PQ is a 2-digit number, RS is also 2-digit number. That's what they mean by, there is a typing error over there. PQ square plus RS square is equal to XYP. Value of Y is what they are saying. PQ square plus RS square should give you XYP. Be careful here, whichever is the digit you are starting off with, same digit should come over here. In that case, what is the value of digit Y? And they are saying all the digits PQRS, XY and P should be, PQRS and XY must be distinct. That happens when you go for 19 here, 19 square plus 20 square. All the digits I have got are different over here. This is giving you 361, this is giving you 400. That is adding up to how much? 761. So the same digit whichever I have got over here, I am getting over here. And all the digits are distinct over there. So this is satisfying all the conditions. Hence, what is the value of Y? They are asking you for. The value of digit Y should be how much here? It should be 6. So these are the questions we have received from the students based on memory. The remaining questions we will be discussing as we receive from the students. Thank you and wish you all the best. Good night.